on the agenda. The first one is Woodland Avenue. The committee will receive an update and discuss the options for the Woodland Avenue Road project. I'm assuming that's you, John? Hi.
Hi there. Good evening. So as I'm sure you probably all know, we put out for bid a Woodland Ave renovation project a few months ago. We sent it out to 4 local contractors, only 1 bid. For the most part, everybody's busy. And the one that did bid asked for an exception to start next year because it's pretty difficult to get work done. So there are some options to be had. As the bid came in, the sole bid came in, and it was from a bid package put together by Oliver Associates. As you know, they did a design. They went out and looked at the road, did survey, did test bores, looked at soil, looked at drainage, and came up with a plan. We had a number assigned from this year's budget was $85,853, I think. So what we decided to do was, instead of just putting a bid out for a certain amount, obviously that's not going to get the whole project because it's estimated over $1 million. We put it out, the bid, with the dollar figure up front, and whoever could go the furthest from a set point back would that was the thought anyways, that they would be the successful bidder. As estimated by the engineer, it's about $112 a linear foot for the project. That's when you take the paving out, obviously, and that's what we were looking at in our bid. The bid came in at $143.06, which is substantially over what was the engineer's estimate. So you have a few options.
What did you say, 143?
143.06 to be for the entire 5,900 linear feet of the, as defined by the project.
Okay.
That would make the overall project of that with paving at $1,133,000 and change. So some of the options that you have, you can proceed as bid, you can rebid the thing. We could look at the whole project differently and pave it as it is, at least apply a binder. So if you were to apply a binder right now, 18 foot wide at 2 foot thick, that's $97,173 at $75 a ton. That's an option.
Is the road capable of handling that?
Well, that's
a couple of years. It's going to just come right up in a couple of years.
Well, the pavement that's on the first section now, if
Yeah.
I'm not mistaken, is 9 to 10 years old.
Okay.
So the idea with the binder, which we did on the right-hand side of Woodland Ave years ago, pave it with binder, knowing that the subsurface is not optimum. I mean, the design package includes, a box cut, full drainage, fabric. It's a full-on, it's a fully designed road. I got to be honest with you, I don't think I've ever dug up any part of road in Old Town and found sufficient sub-base. So, but the thought is, if you pave it over with a binder, you do it at a much reduced cost. We do know of a couple of areas that are problem areas, would address that first. If you put the binder on it and give it a year, then typically any problems will emerge, and then they can be addressed in much, much smaller sections. So if you paved it now with binder, that's 2 inches of binder, it's a coarser material, and then go back in a couple of years, give it a year, go back in that year after, knowing essentially what that pavement cost would be, then you can go back from the Poplar Street and pull a finish all the way across. Because after, I think it's close to 10 years on that first piece that's paved, it's starting to deteriorate. But 10 years, that's a pretty good stretch.
Right.
With a relative minimal amount of maintenance anyways. So that's an option. And then, of course, in the short term, we could do nothing. So there are options.
So the paving part of it, would that be now if the council decided?
We
would that be in
could.
the spring?
We could. I called the paver today, and because it is a binder and it's applied directly to what's there, much of the weather conditions and a lot of the equipment that's required from a lot of the paving that may not get done, that's one that could get done because it's not as weather dependent, and it's a pretty straightforward approach.
And how wide did you say it would be?
18 feet.
That's enough for 2
That's an
vehicles.
average.
Okay, that's.
Yeah, a lot of what we have. I mean, most streets are 20 to 22,
Okay.
but we don't even have that much room in some areas. That gives you a 9-foot lane width and no paved shoulder. That's pretty good,
Yeah.
certainly compared to what it is there now.
Well, that was gonna be my question. It's gonna be a big improvement over what we've got right now, right?
For everybody involved. I mean, there's always been a lot of talk about what to do with it and what the condition is, and really the condition of the gravel roads in Old Town is quite good. We have significant drainage improvements already done. We've already installed fabric out there. The design called for some under drain. It was really a full-on, we're gonna build a road.
Right.
And even with that, if you did that and paved it, we'd probably be looking at some maintenance in 10 to 15 years. It's not like we do it and 20 years later and you can forget it for 20.
So that was 90-something thousand, you said?
Yeah, with today's estimate, it was 97,173.
173. And the original bid was 85,853.
Right. And understand that that 85 was in our essentially our paving season road budget, that and Colonial Drive and some others. There's some paving, we did better on the actuals on the paving that we've done, so that you have enough in that
Cover it.
fund. Right, and there are some parts of our planned paving that just won't happen.
Right.
It's just been a terrible season for paving.
Yeah, the weather and stuff. So this is already kind of, I mean, if the council agrees to do this, the budget's already been approved, so it doesn't have to go to like the full council or anything like that, right? What do you guys think, everybody? To me, it's improvement for what is out there.
It's better than what's there.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that's the best. Plus, people are gonna see a difference now.
Right.
They won't have to wait until spring and then see what happens and.
Right.
We'd much prefer to plow pavement
Yep.
over gravel any day.
Right.
And
You know,
like John said, I mean, there's a couple areas out there they want to address immediately to try to fix a couple of low spots.
Right.
You put the
Right.
binder down, you see how it does over the course of this next year, and then before they drag the finish in the next budget.
You might have
You'd
to
go
fix it
fix
up a little
those.
bit or something. Yeah.
Right, and if we find that drainage is a real problem there, obviously, we're, in Old Town drainage is essentially a big problem. But even if we find a spot that we have to add a cross culvert per se, then we're just cutting a slot across the binder, which is easy to fix. If you give it a year, much of the problems will be, you'll see them, and they can be addressed, or there won't be any, and then when you pull finish on it, then we won't, I don't think we'll be talking about it for another 7 to 10 years.
Okay. Well, looking at everybody's head and the feedback, sounds like it's a go.
Yep.
Excellent.
Go for it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 2, the final item, Finance Department. Danielle will present the monthly notes, which have been very helpful. I just got to find mine.
We didn't email out the pollution, but I included it in your packet and I'll review. We have July and August for pollution. And they had, just routine expenses. The only thing that occurred for pollution in the 2 months is we had $895 for their Trio software that we all paid back in July. And they had $26,100 for their main municipal insurances. Are there any questions? Or you're just looking at them. If you want to look at it and email me tomorrow, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I like the way this is written, you know what's left and percent you have left. The other one didn't do that.
Yeah.
This is much clearer.
Yes, I agree. So moving on to the City of Old Town, the general fund, August 2019. Expenses that we incurred this month in our heavy equipment line. We bought our body cameras for $19,759. Our blowhard ventilation fan for the fire department for $4,100. Our bailout belts, again for the fire department, $784. The ladder hooks were purchased for $1,552. However, we just received notification early in September that we're going to get a $1,200 grant from Maine Municipal for those as well. On the police department, we had a lot of travel and training. They had crisis intervention training for $111, high-risk search warrant training for $613, Criminal Justice Academy, we have one cadet for $2,613. We paid a deposit for the Maine Chiefs Conference that's going to happen in September, $566. And we had a certified child abuser interviewer training for $843. On the fire side, we had our the NFPA fire inspector. We had two firefighters go down for $2,684. We have one student currently in the advanced EMT program, so we had to purchase their books, $302. The clothing for the fire department, it's their annual contractual obligations for $2,392. On the ambulance side, we had travel and training. We have one person there in advanced EMT class as well, and that is $1,665. The ambulance supply line includes two video, whatever that word is. Basically, it's a camera to go down your throat so you can put in a trachea. And those were $4,500. Their clothing allowance, again, it's their annual contractual obligations of $2,383. Public Works saw a large tar purchase from ProPatch for $7,879. This is the first time that we actually bought in bulk, and it was a significant savings to the city, so it's half of our budget that will last half of the year. Our repairs and maintenance line had $1,000 in it for a broken pole. We had an incident where one of our light street poles were broken, but again, that's a claim's been submitted, so we should get reimbursed from that once all the costs are in. The airport, building repairs and maintenance, the terminal floor was replaced at $9,992. We had heat pump repairs in the hangar of $1,000. That was a leak in one of the hangars, so again, this was submitted to the insurance, and we be reimbursed. Their equipment repairs and maintenance, they got a small toolbox and some tools for $1,375. And they completed the hangar roof repair of $7,000. And then the library, their endowment funds, they bought virtual reality equipment for $1,515. And that was all the highlights. With any questions on the revenue or the expenses?
I'm sorry. Did we hire another?
Excuse me?
On the police side, did we hire another officer?
Nope.
That's going? So we've had somebody that was not?
There was a replacement.
She's been in for a while.
Yeah, she started back in
I don't recall,
April or May.
I don't recall
Yeah.
hearing about that, so that's why. Okay, so she'll be going to the academy? And
Yes, she's currently at the academy. She replaced Lori Renzullo when she retired.
Who is it?
I don't know.
Catherine Denning. Yeah.
Danny? Okay.
It is nice if I appreciate knowing the names. It is nice
Yeah.
to know the names. It's nice to know who works for us, I think, you know.
We've got a lot of new
Yeah.
names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of, and it's hard to remember them, I agree.
It was nice when they deliver the packets at your home, you get to see who they are.
That's why I get mine delivered for that reason, just so you can see who's there.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Danielle on this?
No, I don't have a question, just a comment. I like this type of a breakdown, so
Really
we
helpful.
know, if it's a big expense, because my big thing is, I know when we did this year's budget, the idea was that we adjusted some of the budgets upwards to be where they should be. So having that in mind, the month-to-month expenses, if somebody's grossly over what they should be, it's nice to have an explanation why. You know, I understand there's some expenses that come up as soon as the new budget hits, but if somebody's continually moving upwards in a given budget, it's nice to know that ahead of time so we can say, you know, we made these adjustments this year, so let's hold the line on these. So I think this is a good format so we can stay apprised of where the money's going.
Good.
I find it helpful too. It is.
Yeah, it is. So thank you for doing that.
You're welcome.
Is that it? Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, that will conclude the Finance Committee meeting, so could I have a motion to adjourn, please? So it's Kyle,
Second.
Carol, all in favor? Unopposed? You normally raise your hand. I said you normally raise your hand. So it's 3-0. And we get the time is, what is the time? It is 6:15. Okay, so seeing how council president's not here, I'll take over as vice president, and I will call the September 16, 2019 special council meeting to order. Please turn off your cell phones. Flag salute. Kyle, could you do that, please? Thank you. Roll call.
A silent roll call has been taken and a quorum is present.
Thank you. Okay, approve of the minutes. Could I have a motion to approve the September 3rd, 2019 regular council meeting minutes? That'd be Jane. Is there a second?
Second.
Who was it?
Shirley and I, or
Carol?
one of us down here.
Okay, Carol. Discussion. All in favor? Unopposed, 6-0. Petitions, communications, citizens request. At this time, is there anyone in the audience that would like to discuss an item that is not on the agenda? If so, please come forward, state your name and address. Okay. Reports, council president, nothing. Standing committees, city councilors.
I've received another email from one of the citizens that out at Pushaw on the same issue as I look at Bill. That's been going on. She would like to have something in writing from David
Okay.
to exactly what his findings were.
Okay.
And the sooner the better. Apparently, she says she's asked for it, and she has yet to receive it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I want to remind everybody that Riverfest is coming right up. It's not this weekend, next weekend, the 27th, 28th, and it's coming right up. So there should be literature all over the place about it, so pick it up and see what's going on.
And you're gonna make the sun come out?
Oh, I
She
don't
always
have to.
does.
I don't have to. It does.
It always
It
does.
does, yeah. I don't have to work on that.
Well, knock on wood.
Yeah.
Yes. What about the history of the mill?
Oh, the history of the mill, yes. We had a really good turnout for a history of the mill, and I thought it was really, it was a good job. We had good attendance, good participation, didn't you think? And
Yes.
And we were happy to have the current mill manager, Craig Kirshner,
Yep.
show up, and he spoke for a bit, and he was I thought it was really well received.
Yep.
And he stayed after and talked to a lot of people, and I think he made a really good impression, and I think and we also had a reporter who you talked to.
Two reports, one from the New York Times and another one that we didn't know that was
Yeah,
there.
I don't know where she was
I don't
from, but
know
when
either.
we had one from the New York Times, so I think by now who has talked to everyone in Old Town.
Yes, she has. Not sure if it's good or
And,
bad.
and I think she has. She's been around. She was even at church on
Yes,
Sunday.
yep.
So she's been around, and she was really just interested in the story, and she was commenting how she couldn't find anyone that had anything negative to say, which was, I think, really positive.
Very good.
But it was a great meeting, good crowd of people, and we had a good time.
Yep.
That's good.
Good. Anyone else? City attorney. No one's here. Special committees. City manager.
A couple items. We received an airport generator, a very large one, at no cost. Lance is working on that. That generator, it's a three-phase generator, which it doesn't need to have three-phase power. And there's some problems, not problems, but to install that to run the former Sewell hangar, the terminal buildings, and then the other hangars, you'd have to put in multiple switches. So what he's trying to do is see if he can trade that one out for 3 separate, smaller generators. And it looks like he's going to be able to do that, and he doesn't have to deal with the switching issues in each one of those buildings. And they'd be propane like that one is, but he's trying to work on that to see if he can do that. The body cameras that were mentioned by Danielle tonight are actually in use right now, so those are those are in use by all the officers. Once again, downtown, our control box on the lights got hit by a trailer. So we're trying to deal with traffic lights again. I don't know what it is about the intersection down here, but apparently that's a pretty favorite target of folks with trailers. So we're trying to get that taken care of. And that's it.
You're, when are you going away?
Next week.
You're gone for a couple weeks?
Yep.
If we have any questions, it's Travis. Get a hold of Travis and Danielle.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect. Thank you. Any questions for Bill? Good. Thank you, sir. Okay, new business. We'll discuss that later. We're going to jump right to hearings and second reading of ordinances. I'll open public hearing. There will be a first reading of the order approving the issuance of bonds and notes in amounts not to exceed $530,000 for the purpose of financing all or a portion of the cost of any or all rehabilitation and renovation of city roads, city streets, and other city paved surfaces and related ditch and drainage structures, and city street lights and facilities equipment, or both functionally related and subordinate to the foregoing. The current city road paving program is described in the paving schedule presented in attachment number 1, which is preliminary and subject to change until contract prices are agreed to. So I open the public hearings. Anyone like to discuss this? Anything we need to know about this? This is just
This is
normal.
all part of the budget, what we look to get for approval in here.
Okay.
Now,
It may be a little more money than what we
you're
thought.
mentioning the city, the streetlights. Are we going to be able to go to LED? Is that what this is?
No, this one is for, was for the paving bond. is what
Okay,
this is.
well, it says city streetlights
Yeah,
and facility equipment, so I was wondering if that was in there as well.
yeah.
No.
No, this,
the paving budget that we deferred
Gotcha.
Yeah.
to get
Okay.
along.
I agree, though. It does say city
Yeah.
light. So, yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It came straight from the lawyers, that's the way they needed to have it written. Our bond
Figures.
lawyer.
yeah.
It would have been nice to fix the whole
Get
thing.
them done at the same
but
time, right.
Anyway,
Okay, I will close the public hearing. Carol, can you read the suggested motion, please?
Resolve the Old Town City Council, that one?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Resolve the Old Town City Council hereby approves dispensing with the reading of the order.
Okay, is there a second?
second.
Shirley, discussion? All those in favor? Unopposed, 6-0. Okay, the Old Town City Council consider scheduling a second reading and discussion of final approval of the order approving the issuance of bonds and notes in amounts not to exceed $530,000. Council Brissette, please.
Resolve, the Old Town City Council hereby approves scheduling for October 7th, 2019, a second reading and a discussion of final approval of the order approving the issuance of bonds and notes in amounts not to exceed $530,000 for the purpose of financing all or a portion of the cost of any or all rehabilitation and renovation of city roads, city streets, and other city paved surfaces, and related ditch and drainage structures, and city streetlights, and 2 facilities, equipment, or both functionality related and subordinate to the foregoing.
Wow.
Cute,
Second the motion.
cute.
Discussion. All in favor? None opposed. Thank you. Moving on to old business, the Old Town City Council considered donating the city-owned property at 1064 West Old Town Road, Route 43, Habitat for Humanity of Greater Bangor, to add affordable housing in Old Town. I'll have Donna read the motion, and we'll talk about the discussion.
Resolved, the Old Town City Council hereby authorizes Bill Mayo, city manager, to take all steps necessary to transfer the city-owned property located at 1064 West Old Town Road, Route 43, to Habitat for Humanity of Greater Bangor.
Is there a second?
Second.
Jan, discussion. Is this that trailer one that we put back out?
Yes, at the council's direction, we had the mobile home raised and removed, and we put it out to bid. It was in the Times for 3 weeks. We did have some interest. We had people come in and asking questions, getting property cards, and in the end, we got 0 bids. So this is the second time it's gone out to bid. The first time it went out at 25,000,
Yep.
and this time it went out at 15,000.
Yeah. No, we all said, we agreed if we
But at least
tear
let
it down and
know.
put it
Yeah.
out for the land, and that, we
Yeah.
said if we didn't, we'd go this route. But appreciate you guys doing it, but I think we did the right thing by
Yeah.
doing what we
I think
did.
so too. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else on this, Travis? You good?
No, nothing's changed since the last time, just reporting back to you that it did go out to bid, and that's where we're at. If that's still the council's wish, then we'll take the steps necessary to transfer it.
You're going to see it here pretty quick. All those in favor? 6-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, looks like the last item, the new business.
Do we want to take up the
Yeah,
agenda?
should I want to
We
wait
did
on
it,
that?
yeah.
Oh, wait, I don't have that. Where is that? Thank you.
I'll take it back. I'm going to read it, though.
Okay.
I haven't committed to memory yet.
The city council will consider approval of an application from the Old Town Riverfest Committee for a major special event permit for the Riverfest Festival to be held at the Riverfront Park and to waive the permit fee. Councilor Smart, please.
Resolved, the Old Town City Council hereby approves an application from the Old Town Riverfest Committee for a major special event permit for the Riverfest Festival to be held down at the Riverfront Park on September 27th and 28th, 2019, and to waive the permit fee.
Second, so Donna. Discussion? All those in favor? None opposed. Okay. Last item on the agenda, new business. The Old Town City Council consider going to executive session for the purpose of discussing poverty abatement. Councilor Smart.
Resolved, the Old Town City Council hereby approves going into executive session pursuant to Title I, MRSA subsection 4056C for the purpose of discussing a poverty abatement.
There's a second. Jan, discussion. All those in favor? None opposed. 6:27 PM.